Hey now, friends, it's me, Lola. So today I want to talk to you about why entrepreneurship sucks. Yes, those are some very strong words. It's probably not that popular, but for anyone who is a business owner or like actually doing it, you probably can already feel what I'm saying. So let me tell you who I want to talk to today. I want to talk to people that are considering entrepreneurship full time or part time. I want to talk to people who are doing a little side job, thinking about having a side career. If that's you, then I want you to come on here and listen. If that's not you, then you know somebody that wants to take advantage of the time that we're living in and make an additional means of income through some form of entrepreneurship or ownership. Send them this link so they can come on and join. Grace and peace, Val. Thanks for coming on. Do me a favor as you're coming into the broadcast, let me know if my sound is okay and if you all can see me okay. So it's me, Lola. Today I'm going to be talking about why entrepreneurship sucks. And I want to start out by telling you a story. But before I get into that, I just have to make sure you understand that this message is not about being negative. It's honestly meant to just uh, honestly get us to the place of where we're not denying reality by being so optimistic. Okay, Facebook user said you're good. Thank you. I can't see your name. Where we're not allowing our optimism to transform into delusion, and where we're not allowing people that are just trying to hustle us to push us into something and sell us their product, saying that it's going to make our entrepreneurial endeavors easy. That is not the truth at all. Okay. So this is what this message is really, really about, just to give you my take on entrepreneurship and to, again, make sure we're not allowing our optimism to turn into delusions, and that we're not letting people come in and hustle us into buying their products or services with promises that they'll make entrepreneurship so easy for us, because that's not it. So I remember this dream that I had years ago. And in this dream, I was in a big, huge, massive mansion type home. It wasn't a building like a work office, but I could tell that I was there because of work. And it was like a mansion. There was this double staircase. It was marble, nice stone. Like, it was just beautiful. It was nice. And I knew that it was a work thing because I remember seeing people that I was working with that were actually there. Thank you all for coming on and joining. I see our numbers are going up. If you can do me a favor, just drop a hey, let me know you're down there. If you're doing something and your hands are occupied, I get it. But if you can just drop a hey, let me know you're there, and I'll shout you out if I can see your name. Some of them it just says like that you're a Facebook user or YouTube user or whatever. So let me get back to the stream. I remember being in this beautiful, beautiful place. I remember work people being around me. Grace and peace, Brenda G. I remember work people being around me. I remember talking. I remember so many details about this dream. I actually talked about this dream on a live before, and I'm not going to go into all the details. But what ended up happening in the dream is I ended up walking out of that beautiful, beautiful building, and I ended up in like, man, it was just like this I'm not going to say it was a destitute place that I ended up going to, but it was more like going from something that was very, very well developed and established to something that now needed so much attention and so much care. I went from this beautiful mansion, double staircases, marble, beautiful stone, just like all of this gold, like all of this beautiful, beautiful stuff. I went from all of that, and then I'm walking out, and the landscape is starting to change from something that's very kept up, very nice, very refined, to something that is unkept, to all of a sudden it's more jungle like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? What's happening? And there's more to the dream. I'm not going to get into all the details, but what I want to pull out from that dream today is this. That dream is how entrepreneurship has been for me. I went from something that was very, very well established. I went from something that was a well oiled machine, organization, structure, things in place to tell you what to do. If you ain't making the mark, then there's something in place to help you make the mark. There are people there that are equipped to help you. I went from all of that to going out into something that is not developed at all. It's nothing. And now I got to do the building. And guess what that means? That means it's hard. That means it's tough. That means that it's not as easy as some people may try to frame to you. Am I making sense? Can you all see this picture in your head? Can you see the image of work and working for a company, working for a job, working for someone else, working for an organization? Is just like this beautiful building that's been maintained. People come and take care of the lawn. If there's a problem with the building, you have building maintenance that's coming in and taking care of the problem with the building. You don't have to attend to everything there because someone else is maintaining that. To all of a sudden, you are coming out, walking onto your own property, and nobody has been there. The grass isn't cut, bushes are grown up. Everything is wild. Everything is like unkempt. Grace and peace, Monica Denise. Thank you. Everything is unkempt. I actually hate that picture. I painted that I don't know how long ago, and I hate it. And the family hates it. They say it's creepy, and we'll figure out something to do with it another time. Someone in my family said they wanted it, and I need to follow back up with them and go from there. But that's how entrepreneurship was for me. And you'll find that if you're stepping into entrepreneurship, full-time, part-time, side job, side career, whatever it is that you're doing, you are going from something that is well oiled, okay, well organized, established, and now you're going and you're going to have to do the work yourself. You're going to have to lay the foundation. You're going to have to build, and that is hard work. So the first reason that entrepreneurship sucks is because it's in our culture right now, grace and peace, in our culture right now, listen, I will show y'all that picture. I'll make sure I'll send it to you, Val, and let you see it, but we can discuss, and I ain't talking about no sale. I just need to go. You know what I'm saying? But I want to say I'll talk to that family member and see if they still want it. If they didn't want it, then I'll definitely reach out to you. But let me get back to this. The first reason I got myself distracted. The first reason that entrepreneurship sucks is because in our culture it's glorified so much to where it's like this easy thing where you just work when you want to. You just get up and do what you want to, and it's just so nice and so great and so grand. And it's not like that. You have to build your idea from the ground up, and that is difficult. Not only do you have to build your idea from the ground up, you actually got to be more disciplined as someone who is in charge than you do as an employee. I've never worked so hard in my life as an entrepreneur. Never worked so hard in my life. When I was working for orgs and companies, and I was the company that I actually left, I was with them for years, like with them for years. Wonderful, well-organized company, learned so much, got a lot of transferable skills, and it was amazing. But the work there, man, that was so easy. Me working for myself is so hard. And guess what? The pay is not even there, because you're starting out and you're building. So you're putting all that you have into making your idea work. Okay. And even in our first year of business, me and my husband, like we had a reason to celebrate, because in our first year of business, we weren't in the red, meaning there was not a deficit. We didn't lose money, which was expected. We didn't lose money. We actually had a profit. But guess what? When we went to see the tax man, he was like, okay, this is nice. Your little coins. It's like, your little coins is nice, but it ain't there yet. So the first reason that entrepreneurship sucks is it's a lot of work. You're actually going to be doing more work as someone that is in charge versus you working for someone else. Cool, Brenda G. And then the second part is that everything is like on you. So you are putting in your resources, your and even if you're getting outside funding, like you have to do the work on trying to get that funding for your business. And that's not easy because people are not just going to hand you money without you having a means to show how you can make money, unless you're inventing Anna. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like, who's been watching that Netflix series? I actually saw, I think, a 2020 special, because I like documentaries and news specials and stuff, about this wannabe socialite in New York who actually was hustling people out of money and pretending that she had more than what she did. But my point in saying, my point in saying all of that is nobody's just going to hand you any money. So when you're an entrepreneur, you're putting in your money, you're self-funded, and even if you are getting funding from other places, you have to do the work to prove why someone should give you their money. Okay. You have to do the work to prove that. Another thing is that with, depending on what you're selling, but with some services being so common, you have people that really, really try to pay you like pennies to do a lot of work, because you can go online and find a freelancer to do something through Fiverr. Do y'all remember when Fiverr first came out and Fiverr was offering the $5? I think every gig on there started at like $5. So Fiverr, like, shout out to Fiverr and their business model, but you have people in real life thinking that they can give you $5 to do something that's going to take you an hour to do. And it's like, wait a minute, that's not even minimum wage. That's not even the federal minimum wage. Why would I do that? So that's another thing that's like ugh and icky. And just that you have to be responsible for everything. Everything. You have to be responsible for your payments coming in. You have to be responsible if you don't pay one of your bills now. What's going to happen if you don't pay your bill? Your utility bill. The utility company, grace and peace, Alma, the utility company is going to cut your power off. But before they cut your power off, they're going to send you a notice. Well, as an entrepreneur, if somebody doesn't pay your bill, like, you're the one that has to go through sending them the notice, cutting their services off, like all of that's on you. So if you're not someone who is ready for that responsibility, if you're not someone who can tell people no, if you're not someone who can be graceful and kind, and then also turn on that I'm a business owner hat and I have to do what is best for my business, because at the end of the day, like, this can cause me to go into the red and I'm not trying to fail. Okay. If you're not someone who's willing to do that, then you might as well either say no to it or get someone to partner with you that will be pretty much like that strong personality, that boss that'll go in and get the stuff done. Yeah. Val said, what happens when the vendor you depend on are late with their payments? You got to notify them the same way that your utility company would notify you, or a creditor would notify you. Like, think about it. Some creditors call before the money is due and say, hey, just reminding you that you need to give us this money. Like, you got to start being like that. And if you're not willing to do it, then entrepreneurship might not be the thing for you. The cool thing about it is when you start seeing success, it's super rewarding. Like, our first year in business, when we saw that we were in the black and not in the red, we were like, oh my gosh, like, this is a big achievement, because one, we haven't launched, so we haven't made an announcement. Two, we weren't running any ads. Three, like, it was just word of mouth, a referral, and we did well. And honestly, the way we made our money isn't even through what our business model is and how I ultimately want to make money. So there's there's wins when you stick with it and you have, like Val said, you have the patience and the discipline to stick with it. There's wins. There's a lot of wins. And guess what? Every day you keep moving closer and closer and doing more and more, you're getting better and better and better. But for those of you that are on here and you're thinking about like getting into entrepreneurship, this message is not to discourage you. What I want to tell you to do is learn everything you can from where you are now. Learn everything you can from where you are now. When you are with a company and organization, like it's like that dream I told you about at the beginning. You're in a building that you don't have to maintain. You're in an organization that you don't have to maintain. Someone has already mapped out everything that's needed, and they have people in place to make sure everything runs the way it needs to efficiently. So you're not starting from the ground up and having to do all of that yourself. It's already there. So when you're in organizations, you're going to be around so many different people. You're going to be around diverse networks. You're going to be around people that have different knowledge bases. And I don't went into my business mind. It's so technical. That's not the word that I'm looking for. But you're going to be around people that have different different professional backgrounds, educational backgrounds. So you can really, really learn from the people that you're around. Not to mention, you're going to be around people who have been doing stuff maybe for like 20, 30 years. And that's something that a lot of us don't have because you ain't even been in the workforce that long. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, wait a minute, we haven't even been in the workforce that long. So when you're working for a company, just take advantage of working for a company and just realize that, yes, it may get frustrating, but it's a blessing because what you can get from a company, you're not going to be able to get as an entrepreneur. Like what you can get from a company is you can learn directly from a business that is already like built itself up, is already well established. And then you can also learn from the people around you. And if you have someone that you work with that's been doing something for 10 years, they certainly have some firsthand knowledge. They have some insider knowledge. They have something that they know that you can likely use in your business. I learned so much stuff from working for other people. And here's another thing about entrepreneurship that sucks. A lot of times, you have people that are like you. So they're starting out too. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, so you don't even know what you want. And then you want me to come over here and help you. Like, it's like, oh man, it can be very, very different. So does anyone have any questions before I wrap this up and get off? Because what I'm seeing is like the numbers going in and out. So it's making me think that something is wrong with my connection. So let me know if you all have any questions as I wrap up here and get off. But yes, entrepreneurship sucks. It's not as glorified as people try to make it out to be. If someone is glorifying entrepreneurship to you, then just look at it like, is this person's optimism making them delusional, or is this person trying to hustle me into buying something, buying a product or service? Because unfortunately, a lot of people do that. And y'all know I'm not about that. Like, I'm not about any of that at all, which is why I am slowly building what I'm building, because I will not compromise who I am as a person and my integrity and my core values and all of that stuff. So that's the first part of it. The second part that I wanted to share is just that, like, as an entrepreneur, you're building from the ground up. Just understand that. And anything that you build from the ground up, it's going to be difficult. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a home being built, but it's like the dream that I described to you when I first came on here, that dream I had where I'm in this beautiful mansion and there's this double staircase, there's marble, I'm seeing gold flakes, and just, it was beautiful. It was so nice. And as I walk down the stairs and walk out of the building. And I'm walking, it goes from being a manicured lawn to all of a sudden the lawn is getting a little bit more unkempt. And then all of a sudden it's not just an unkempt lawn. It looks like I am on a plot of land that nobody has tended to for years, with just bushes and stuff grown up. And if y'all know, like, that's, you have land like that, like, somebody has to come in there with a machine to cut those bushes down. You might have to come in and have someone come in and cut trees down. Like, that's a mess. And then once you get the foundation, the ground clear, then you can start building. That's what entrepreneurship is like. So if you're getting into it, just know that yes, it can be rewarding, but it's going to be a lot of work, and everybody is not, it's not for everybody, because you have to have a great level of discipline to do it. And you're likely going to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. You're likely going to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. And you have to have a lot of discipline. Discipline to tell you to get up and do stuff when you don't want to. Discipline to tell you to shut your mouth when you want to keep talking. And when you just want to let a customer have it, or you want to let a vendor know that whatever you want to let them know. Discipline to make sure you remember that your reputation is everything. So Val said, I've seen personal health come into play. So one should never neglect their health mentally and emotionally. Yeah, it's tough. Like, and it's not for everybody. And as much as entrepreneurship is glorified, it's not for everybody. And to be honest with you, if the Lord would have showed me everything everything back then, then I probably would have been like, I'm okay, because I like ease. Okay, I like peace. But then that makes me think about this proverb. I think it's Proverbs 1:32. I'll read it. But it makes me think about this proverb, and I'm gonna read that, and then we're gonna go, because I would have said, nah, I prefer to probably just have, peace, and peace matters to me more than this other stuff. But my whole mission is more impact driven, and because I feel called to do what I'm doing. It's not because of other reasons. So here is this proverb, Proverbs 1:32. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. I actually looked all of that stuff up one day to really, really understand that scripture, and it deals a lot with comfort. So me even saying that I probably would have told the father, no, I don't want to do that because I'd rather be comfortable, is like, oh man, then that probably would have like not led to good stuff either. So you're absolutely right. Val said, I've seen personal health come into play. So one should never neglect their health, mentality and emotionally. So their health mentally and emotionally. And I totally agree. So if you're considering entrepreneurship, just know that, hey, you don't have to do it full time. You can do it part time, and you can do it while you're working at the company that you work for. And that there's a lot that you can get from the company that you're working for, including seeing firsthand how businesses operate. And what I would suggest you do is, like, once you have your job mastered, if you're working for someone, once you have your job mastered, start exploring, start seeing what else helps that company run and what else is there. And then try to just grow your network and learn from the people that are around you. Because if you leave and just start where you are now and you don't have a lot of experience, you haven't even done much in the company that you work for, then you could be forfeiting something that was useful to you there, and people that were useful to you there. Because if someone has lived, man, if someone has lived over 50 years, they got a lot of knowledge, they got a lot of knowledge. They got a lot of wisdom. They got a lot of firsthand stuff that you need, and it can help you run your business if you feel like that's what you should be going into. That's why I read books, so that I can basically, it's what I'm seeing in my head is like a board game. And you know how you have pieces on the board game and you can like skip different pieces on the board game as you're going around. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, when you connect with others and you leverage their strengths, what they know, their professional, their educational background, their life experience, which, by the way, did y'all know that some schools, colleges, and universities are accepting like life towards your college credits and stuff? I thought that was cool. But anyways, when you get what they have, it's like reading a book. It moves you ahead on this board of life and this path that you're going down. It allows you to skip places. It allows you to jump in time, so to speak, because instead of you having to sit up and spend 2 years learning something firsthand and making a whole bunch of mistakes, you got somebody there that's able to tell you, hey, don't do this, that's not going to work, this will work. And that will help you. I want to check this text message, but I can't. Val said, yes, it's been around for a while now. I thought that was so cool for anyone that like wanted to go and continue their education and all of that. Let me see. Okay, this is my husband giving me an update on his day and then telling me he loved me. So I'm sending him a message back saying, love you too. Okay, so I'm getting off of here. Do y'all have anything to say before I jump off and go? I'm going to record a video and share that on my YouTube channel, which I'm excited about. I'm very, very excited to do that video because I think it's going to help some educational content creators, help you create content. But this was a spontaneous broadcast. I didn't have notes. I was just talking from my heart. And I didn't want to come off negative, but I also did not want us to be delusional about things, because people market, they market our vanities to us. And when I say they market our vanities to us, they know what we want. And so they'll pitch what we want to us. It's almost like the Father, and I think in Jeremiah somewhere, about prophets. Let me pull this up. Why am I doing this today? First of all, I hate this device that I'm using, and I don't have a lot of time because this is going dead. Somebody probably knows what I'm talking about before I even speak it. Basically, what I'm saying, and I didn't mean to use the word basically, but what I'm saying is people will speak to us from based on what they see that you need. Okay. So it's not that it's something, thank you, Monica. It's not that it's something that will actually help you. It's like, I'll speak to you based on what I see that you need. And people can prophesy like that too. And people can, go into spiritual places and start looking at what people need and speak to that. And then all of a sudden you're wooed, and it's like you got a veil over you and you get deceived and disillusioned and all of that stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Like, people will market to us based on what they know we want. And this is an economy of creators, an economy of entrepreneurs. A lot of people are going in that direction. And it's like, man, I like that you're going in that direction, but just know that it's more than I'm going to get out here and make money. Because the truth is, you're probably not going to get out and make money as easily as you want to make money. especially if you don't put in any money. You're going to have to put in some money. You're going to have to pay for marketing. You're going to have to do something to help you get exposure. And that's another thing that I'm not going to talk about here, but that I'll talk about in my group. I wrote this note to myself the other day, and can you see my note? Okay. So exposure, adoption, influence, sales. I was talking to someone, and as I was talking to them, that's what popped up in my head. Exposure, adoption, influence, sales. And I'm going to go over that in my group. But like, a lot of people think that, oh, I just got a product and I'm just going to throw it out here and people are going to buy it. Yes, some people may buy it based on your relationship with them, but for the most part, that's not going to happen. Like, you're going to have to do some work to actually make money. And when we work for companies, we think, oh, it's really easy because you got a company that has so many things in place. They have a whole business model. They've been in business for years, so they know what they need. Even when the economy shifts, they know what they need because they've got the experience. People have been there before. They got some of the best and the brightest minds working to make things working. You think that you just gonna jump out here and like it's gonna be magic? Like, no, it's not. It's gonna be work. Like, just like that dream that I had where the Lord showed me, like, you're gonna go from this beautiful, beautiful place, but you're gonna come out here and have to work. And I'm like, first of all, did nobody ask to come out here? It's ghetto outside, okay? Nobody asked to come out here. Take me back to the building. And he like, nope, I didn't cut that way off to the building. You're like the Israelites coming out of Egypt. I didn't cut off your path. I sent you the long way so you couldn't turn around because I knew that your tail was gonna try to turn around. I'm like, okay. But it's rewarding, but it's tough work. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's a lot more disciplined. I work harder than I've ever worked. My skin is different. You know, now that I work for myself and I don't work at home, my skin is different. You want to know why my skin is different? Because I got a whole different set of responsibilities on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, baby, you can't point your finger and say, that wasn't my job. Because at the end of the day, it's your job to make it work. So it's rewarding, but it's work, and people ain't just gonna buy your stuff because you pop up to say buy my stuff. Which, by the way, I have a podcast that I put out the other week. I'm gonna end on this note. I want you all to check it out. In that podcast, I talk about using behind the scenes content to really, really just help yourself gain more exposure and to get out where you need to get out at online so that people can see you and then ultimately follow you and ultimately buy from you if you have a product. So if you're just out there throwing your products up online saying buy my stuff, like, listen to this podcast. It's going to bless you. Monica Denise McDowell said, listen, I miss my comfy office and yearly salary. I'm telling you, like, I'm only doing this because I feel called to do it. But if I had a choice, that proverb, like my complacency would have definitely destroyed me, because I'd have been like, no, sir, I would prefer like this peace, this ease, this comfort of where I was. I would prefer that over having to come and do all of this work. But then I understand why the Father gave me the idea, and I understand why I work different places and why my mind is wired the way it's wired. It's like I was gathering stuff, and before anyone on here just discounts like your work experience and just throws that away and discounts the job that you're at now. No, you can gain transferable skills there that you can use to your advantage later and that you can monetize later, for sure. So here is the podcast. I'm grabbing the link now and I'm going to drop it down below so that you all can check it out and listen to it. It was very spontaneous and I enjoyed it though. It was spontaneous. I think I took some notes and I had planned to drop the blog and just had not dropped it. It was very spontaneous. And then I came in and I dropped the blog And I was like, I might as well just record a podcast. And so I did that. So I just put the link in there. You all can go and find that podcast. It talks about gaining more influence online and exposure by using behind the scenes content. So you're going to learn what that is and learn how to use it to grow your online community and then ultimately sell, because yeah, it's different. Anybody could just pay for an ad, and you still can just pay for an ad and like force somebody to look at your stuff. But the research is showing the way that we as in people are responding to that is like we're not responding to that well. So you have to get more creative in your strategy to sell, which is another reason why everybody running out to be an entrepreneur is like, oh, okay. So now everybody doing the same thing. But some people that are pushing you to be entrepreneurs are pushing you to be entrepreneurs because they're trying to sell you their product. And that's the truth. Okay, I'm out. I super appreciate y'all for listening to me. I'm Lola. I'm with The Smoking Prophet. The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource you spiritually, creatively, and socially. Our goal is to give you what it takes others years to get. We do that through a blog and a podcast. The blog is thesmokingprophet.com, and the podcast is The Smoking Prophet Podcast. We have over 100 episodes available there. So please go find us, follow us, subscribe to us, and share us with other people. I dropped a link down below with one of our latest podcasts, but not the latest, I don't think. Anyways, I don't know. I dropped a podcast down there, and that is for anyone that is looking to build a community online or looking to sell on social media. You need to listen to that message. And you heard me mention that I have a group earlier that I'll be talking more about. I have a group. It's on Facebook for now. I started building a membership site, I think a year ago, and then I stopped because I was like, I don't think I want to do that. And so I've been looking at some other options on getting the group off of Facebook, just because I want to be able to really, really reach people. But the whole reason that the group is there is we're there to support one another with our dreams and help to enrich ourselves and our creative abilities. So I share a lot of tips, a lot of social strategies, a lot of resources just to help you get encouraged to build confidence to take that idea that you have and move it from the idea stage to the actual doing stage, to go from a dreamer to a doer. The group is called The Smoking Prophet Podcast Dreamers Ignited. And it has that name for a reason, because we're dreamers. We have something that we want to do. We have something that we feel called to do. Sometimes what we're called to do is something that we can't even articulate. I know that I can't. I don't even be having all the answers. I'm telling you, if I did, I'll be like, no, thank you. Okay, but back to this. In that group, we're there to take those dreams, those ideas, get them off the ground and get ignited, to get on fire about what we're doing, to get passionate about what we're doing, and to actually learn tools and learn systems and learn strategies that will help us make those ideas work in our world. So if you want to join that group, then just drop a comment and I'll give you the link, or you can just search for it on Facebook. Again, it's called The Smoking Prophet Podcast Streamers Ignited. In the group, I'll be talking more to y'all about what I shared really quickly that I mapped out, and some other stuff. You're going to get first dibs on something that just dropped on me today that I'm very, very excited about. So you're going to have first dibs on that too. Facebook user said, great info, Lola. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. You are more than welcome. And again, this was not to discourage anyone. This was not to come off like a negative Nan. I wanted to make sure we were being sober and that we weren't allowing our optimism to become a delusion, and that we also weren't allowing people to sucker us into buying their products and services by glorifying entrepreneurship and making it out to be like it was going to be oh so easy. First of all, like when I tell you that there's a design school, Parsons School of Design, that started a whole entrepreneurial branch where their target audience seems to be creative entrepreneurs is what it seems to be. But like you have big companies that are like seeing that people are wanting to be entrepreneurs and they're getting people equipped. You have universities teaching entrepreneurship. Like a lot of people are flooding into this market, and before you just jump ship from your job and jump out there thinking it's going to be oh so beautiful, no, it's going to be like that dream I was telling you about from the beginning. Beautiful, beautiful mansion, and then you're going somewhere that is unkempt, and you're going to have to do the work. Okay, you're going to have to be responsible and do the work, and it's tough, and you can make it work. Maybe if you're disciplined, you can maybe make it work. But if you ain't disciplined, you might as well just stay at your job or just work part-time or do something else, because entrepreneurship ain't gonna work for you. All right, I'm out. Bye.